Yeah, I think we had a lot of fun. Obviously, Coach Shepard did, he carried the load on that from developing the course to the media information to reaching out to teams. We really were kind of hoping that we'd have maybe 4 or 5 teams as kind of a jump starter and whatnot, but we ended up with about 13, 14 teams across the board from, junior colleges to NAIA to Division I to Division II. So it was a really solid group of openers on a course that we didn't know anything about, honestly. I mean, we mowed it and we lined it, but the kids had never run it before. And I think the general consensus was good course, really hard for an opener, but our kids ran fantastic, and it ended up being a really solid meet. 290 some runners, and we probably had between 500 and 600 people out there running around the course and stuff. So it was pretty awesome.
Coach, well, we're going to break it down, men and women here. Let's start with the men. They raced first, 7:30 a.m. start. They finished second. David Soto, your star freshman from last year, sophomore now, leading the team, comes together and he puts together a first place run, Team finishes second. Talk about that men's side. What did you see that you liked? What did you see that has some hope for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think David surprised us. David's worked really, really hard, and that showed. Dylan, who has really, really paid off his work ethic. I'd like to say that he didn't surprise us, but he did. He ran extremely well. Jacob Berryhill, he finished about where we thought he would. Again, in a really challenging course. So we have some kids on that cross-country team that are more kind of like 8-15 guys. So they got educated a little bit. But the core nucleus of our men's team is going to be really, really solid. As long as we can keep the gap between number 1 and number 6 and 7 tight, they're going to be really solid for us.
Coach, over on the women's side, yet again, it's Kaylin Denny, another star freshman from last year.
Yep.
She comes up, finishes 4th overall as an individual, but the team wins the meet. Your lowest scoring finisher was 11th. Talk about that consistent squad. You talked about, preseason running as a pack, and that's exactly what they did. Talk about that performance.
Yeah, so I think Kaylin did what we kind of expected her to do. She probably hasn't had the best fall. So for her to run the way that she did that day is a testament to her ability. But then, we have about a lot of young kids from small schools who, for a lot of those kids, that's the first time they've raced 5K. And then a couple of the other new kids that we have, Taylor and some others, like they just did a really nice job. And again, for our women's team to be successful, they've got to run as a pack. And I think they proved that this weekend. And obviously for them to win that meet, it was a huge confidence booster going into Texas A&M.
Coach, you mentioned Texas A&M this weekend. Your Friday run, a little bit of a different run this week for you guys, not that Saturday morning like you're used to. Mm-hmm. But, kind of talk about this is going to be a big step up from that first meet. You guys are going to see a lot of different teams and a lot of high-level teams. What do you need to see from both squads here as they get their first taste of that big-time competition? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing is just run with confidence. Trust the training that we've done. We are as good as a lot of those teams that are there. We just have to believe that. Don't get caught up in the uniforms that are there. Just run our races. If we run tight as a pack, our lead runners need to do what they need to do. Everybody else needs to take care of their business, and they're going to be fine in that field. And the course that we just ran was really tough. So, the Texas A&M course, although also challenging, is probably a little easier than the one they just ran.